I gave an AI my complete financial picture. Income, expenses, savings, crypto holdings, debt, everything. Completely anonymized, and I asked it to be brutally honest. What it said caught me off guard, not because it was terrible, but because the mistakes were so fixable, and I'd been making them for years without noticing. I'm sharing the 5 things the AI flagged in my finances, because I bet at least 2 of them apply to you too. This is the closest thing to a free financial audit you'll ever get. Our first finding is something I call subscription creep. It's the slow, almost invisible drain on your finances from recurring charges you've completely forgotten about. These are the ghosts in your financial machine, the tiny leaks that over time can sink a ship. We've all been there. You sign up for a free trial, use a service for a one-off project, or subscribe to a new streaming platform, and then life happens. You forget to cancel. The companies don't forget to charge you. This is where the AI audit began, by tackling the low-hanging fruit that often hides in plain sight. The process was straightforward. I exported 12 months of transaction data from my bank and credit card accounts into a simple spreadsheet, making sure to remove any personally identifiable information. Then, I gave the AI a clear directive. The initial results were genuinely shocking. The AI flagged dozens of recurring payments, and when I tallied them up, the total came to an astonishing $340 every single month. That's $340 flowing out of my accounts for services I wasn't actively using, or, in some cases, didn't even remember subscribing to. The list was a graveyard of good intentions. There were the usual suspects, of course, multiple streaming services, some of which I hadn't logged into for months, but it went deeper. There were app subscriptions for photo editing tools I used once, cloud storage upgrades I no longer needed, auto renewals for software I had replaced with other tools, and even a subscription to a niche online publication I'd forgotten existed. Each charge on its own seemed small, $7.99 here, $14.99 there, which is precisely how they slip under the radar. But together, they formed a significant financial burden. Let's put that number into perspective. $340 a month doesn't sound like a fortune, but it adds up to $4,080 a year. That's over $4,000 of post-tax income just vanishing. Now consider the opportunity cost. If you were to take that $4,080 and invest it each year, even with conservative returns, the power of compounding is immense. Over 5 years, that's potentially more than $20,000. That's a down payment on a car, a significant boost to your retirement fund, or the capital for a new side project. All of it was being lost to services I didn't even use. So, how can you do this yourself? The prompt I used was simple and effective. I instructed the AI, analyze these anonymized transaction descriptions, identify all recurring monthly or annual charges, categorize them by vendor and flag any subscriptions that appear to be for similar services, like multiple music or video streaming platforms. This simple command is all it takes to begin untangling the web of subscription creep. You don't need a fancy, dedicated app. A capable AI and your own transaction data are powerful enough to get you started on the path to reclaiming your cash flow. Now for the second finding, and this one was a heavy hitter. The AI flagged a major issue with my investment strategy, labeling it wrong tax optimization. Honestly, seeing that felt like a punch to the gut, but it was a wake-up call I desperately needed. The core of the problem was simple, but profound. I was putting money into a regular taxable brokerage account before I had completely maxed out my Roth IRA for the year. I thought as long as I was investing, I was doing the right thing. But the AI showed me I was leaving a huge amount of money on the table for the tax man. Let me break down why this is such a critical mistake. With a taxable brokerage account, you invest money you've already paid taxes on, and then you pay taxes again on any growth or dividends you earn when you sell. It's a double whammy. But a Roth IRA is different. You contribute post-tax dollars, but once that money is in the account, it grows completely, 100% tax-free, forever. Every dollar of growth, every dividend, is yours to keep in retirement, with no tax bill waiting for you. By prioritizing the taxable account, I was essentially choosing to pay taxes when I didn't have to. The AI ran a projection to show me the real cost of this error. It took my investment amount, a conservative market return, and projected it out over 20 years. In the taxable account scenario, the final number was significantly smaller after accounting for estimated capital gains taxes. In the Roth IRA scenario, the full, untaxed amount was available. The difference was staggering. The AI calculated that this simple mistake in the order of my contributions was costing me an estimated $45,000 in tax savings. $45,000. That's not a typo. That's the power of tax-free compounding I was missing out on. The third finding was less about complex tax strategy and more about simple, everyday optimization. The AI flagged my emergency fund, which I was actually proud of having built. The problem wasn't that I didn't have one, it was where I kept it. My entire emergency fund, a solid $20,000, was sitting in a standard savings account at my traditional bank. And what was it earning? A measly 0.4% annual interest. I hadn't thought about it in years. It was just there. Safe, but stagnant. The AI immediately compared this to the rates available in high-yield savings accounts, or HISAs. At the time of the audit, many reputable online banks were offering rates around 4.5%. Let's do the math on that. At 0.4%, my $20,000 was earning me just $80 a year before taxes. That's not even enough to cover a nice dinner. But by moving that exact same money to a high-yield account earning 4.5%, it would generate $900 a year. That's an extra $820 annually in pure passive income for doing absolutely nothing but choosing the right account. It's free money. It's the definition of making your money work for you, even your safety net. This is one of the easiest financial wins you can get. These high-yield accounts are typically online, FDIC insured just like traditional banks, and have no monthly fees. The process to fix this took me less than 15 minutes. I researched a few top-rated HISAs, chose one, filled out the online application, and linked my old bank account to transfer the funds. It was that simple. Now my emergency fund is still safe and liquid, but it's also actively fighting inflation and putting hundreds of extra dollars in my pocket each year. It's a small change that makes a huge difference. Now for finding 4. Crypto overconcentration. This one hit close to home. The AI analysis revealed that my cryptocurrency holdings had ballooned to represent 35% of my total investable net worth. Now, I'm a believer in the technology, but even I was taken aback by that number. The AI flagged this as a significant deviation, exceeding the recommended allocation for my own stated risk profile. This is a classic portfolio management mistake, letting a single, highly volatile asset class dominate your holdings. It's the financial equivalent of putting too many eggs in one basket, especially when that basket is strapped to a rocket. The potential for high reward is there, but so is the risk of a catastrophic loss that could derail my long-term financial goals. True diversification isn't about avoiding risk, it's about managing it intelligently so that no single event can wipe you out. The recommendation was both simple and incredibly smart. It wasn't to panic sell my crypto, which could trigger a taxable event and go against my long-term belief in the asset. Instead, the AI proposed a gradual rebalancing. The goal was to bring the crypto allocation down to a more manageable 20% over the next 6 to 12 months. The method? Simply direct all my new investment contributions into other areas of my portfolio, like index funds and bonds. This glide path approach allows me to dilute the concentration over time without incurring taxes or transaction fees. It's a patient, disciplined strategy that reduces risk while still maintaining my core position, and that leads me to the most sobering discovery of all. Finding 5. A critical gap in my estate plan. The AI scanned my account settings and found a glaring omission. My primary cryptocurrency exchange account had no designated beneficiary. Let that sink in. If something were to happen to me, my family wouldn't just be grieving, they'd be locked out. Without a named beneficiary, those assets don't just pass to my next of kin, they become part of a lengthy, expensive, and public probate court process. My family would have to hire lawyers and prove their right to the assets, all while trying to navigate a complex digital world they might not understand. Given the nature of digital assets, with private keys and two-factor authentication, the funds could be lost forever. A digital inheritance trapped in a digital vault with no key. This is a mistake millions of people make, not just with crypto, but with retirement accounts, investment accounts, and even bank accounts. The fix was immediate. I went into my account settings and designated my spouse as the beneficiary, but it also prompted a broader review. An effective estate plan for the digital age needs a checklist. Ensure beneficiaries are named on every single account. Update your will to specifically mention digital assets. Use a secure password manager with an emergency access feature for your executor, and write a clear letter of instruction. It's a 5-minute task that can save your loved ones years of heartache and financial stress. It was, without a doubt, the most important fix I made. The full AI financial audit prompt, what I asked it to review and how, is in the description. Run it on your own finances. I promise you'll find something. Subscribe and tell me, what's the one financial mistake you think AI might catch in your situation?